You can take those off and you can swap on other helmet ornaments. DorkLair! Welcome to another DorkLair action figure review. Today I'm taking a look at the Mythic Legion's Deluxe Legion Builder, Barbarian. So hot on the heels of the Alithia wave, we have the Deluxe Legion Builders. In fact, it's kind of in the midst of the Alithia wave because as they get partial segments of the wave from their different factories, they are kind of just shipping them out as they come. If you ordered an all-in, that's probably not shipping yet for either one. And if you ordered like just some single standard figures, then you might be getting those. Or if you ordered an all-in plus some single standard figures, like some add-ons, then that might be shipping as well, which is my scenario. I actually ordered an all-in, plus I ordered two of these Barbarians, 2 Skeletons, and 2 Dark Templars. So that's why those 6 figures of mine actually just arrived. Anyway, this is a basic figure wave, but they're calling it the Deluxe Legion Builder wave because they're new figures and they come with new parts. Like, I think most of them come with a new head sculpt, or I think maybe all of them perhaps come with a new head sculpt. So you're seeing some new parts, and that's why they're getting the status of Deluxe Legion Builders. But really, they're the basic figures. They're $26. They're low end. Usually a standard figure is $37. And they have pretty simple paint applications, and they're meant to be Legion builders. They're meant to be easily customizable. They're kind of ready to be painted up if you wanted to, but they look pretty good just as they are as well. So Deluxe Legion builders are finally in the house. Let's get into this review. Let's start this off with a quick look at the packaging. Traditional box, you have, as the Legion builders do, you usually have just pictures. There's no bio, but this is the Deluxe Barbarian Legion builder. Here's a wide angle of the back of the box, and I'll just kind of like bring it closer to the camera so you can see that amazing new Nate Barch artwork here with all these characters kind of coming in here at the top. Since I don't have my all-in yet, I only have the Barbarian, the Dark Templar, and the Skeleton, which means I'm waiting for the Gladiator, the Goblin, the Dwarf, and of course the Half Giant Builder and the Half Giant Builder like add-on parts designed by Nate Barch as well. So that's the part that's from the other factory, and I think the all-ins are also from the other factory. So nobody has that one in hand yet, but you can find people with the other figures, the top 6 there. And if you're curious, the Barbarian is, of course, from the House of the Noble Bear. And starting off with the details on this figure, looking at the head sculpt, nice and close. Brand new head that is only available on this figure currently. We'll see if they reissue the head in some other way. It's quite possible that they could issue it with a different beard, because that's totally like a glued in piece. They might be able to do a different lower face, like a different kind of bearded piece in there. And then of course these you can swap out. So these are the typical ports on the side of the helmets that you can mix and match with the other figures. And we'll do some swapping later. But very Viking-esque on there. In fact, this feels very dwarf-like. Like the ornamentation on the helmet to me kind of feels dwarf-like. So this would look really good on a dwarf. And then zooming out a little bit, you can see the armor has a couple tones to it. The helmet and the shoulder pads are more silver or gray. They're more like the typical builder color. Like if you go and look at, say, for example, a dwarf from the Reinforcements wave, the bronze dwarf, or the skeleton from the same wave, like the original skeleton builder. Like, I feel like those shoulder pauldrons match with this dwarf. Whereas if you look at the torso armor and then subsequently like the boots and stuff, those feel like they match more closely with the Barbarian. So this torso would actually be good on the Barbarian, because the original Barbarian, because it's got more browns in it than like silvers and grays. So that part of it feels connected to this Barbarian, this original Barbarian. But that torso and that belt, those are like the Vorthog and Magnus parts. I love that torso. Such a good piece. And then, of course, we got the standard muscular arms. And just for a comparison there, they are a different color, or at least a different finish, than the Barbarian, the original Barbarian. So let's get these side by side. You can see that the new one has more like variation and shading and stuff going on. This is the original Barbarian has the shading, but it's just a little more subtle. It's not quite as vibrant. And then it's also it's paler. And this one feels more like it's like tanned up or something. So a little bit more orangey, I guess. But I like them both, and it's nice. I think it adds some variety. I don't know if the camera's doing it justice, but the newer one definitely has more tones going on. It's like a richer kind of a color. Then you got a solid brown skirt piece. Overall, you can see he's got a very Viking-like silhouette. Really nice Barbarian right here. Let's take a look at him next to a few other figures. First up, here he is next to his Barbarian counterpart and the dwarf from the Reinforcements wave. Here he is next to my baseball Tibius with the custom painted head sculpt from EM Custom Parts, Eric Miller. And then on the right is a kit bashed Shadow Elf Warrior with a Harker Customs cape, so you can get a sense of how he looks next to a 2.0 sized figure. Next up, here he is with Bardrick on the left, and this Bardrick has a custom chest piece. That's not a custom chest, it's just the chest plate. Very cool thing that Wolf King Customs is doing. You can see the Wolf King logo right there. And on the right, we have Xenothon, the Stratos tribute that's currently up for pre-order, but was also available at PowerCon. And I owe a huge shout out and thank you to Jeff and Erica for picking this up for me and getting me this and Okiedos, the web store tribute, in my hands. They did an awesome trade, very generous of them to send this out to me so that I could get a review up earlier than 2023 when this actual wave is going to hit, because I was not able to go to PowerCon. I saved that review. That'll be the next review after this Barbarian, because it's going to be a little more involved, and I'm going to do a bunch of part swaps with it because I'm just super excited to have that new gray body to be doing different kit bashes. So thanks again, Jeff and Erica. Much appreciated. Next up, we have a couple superheroes from familiar lines. On the left, we have the Mafex Dark Knight Returns Batman, one of my favorite figures right there. And then on the right is this killer new Wolverine from Mezco. Here's a Storm Collectibles skeleton and dwarf from the Golden Axe line. And finally, a couple larger figures from Masters of the Universe. On the left, we have He-Man from Super 7 from the movie, and on the right, we have the new Eternia Masterverse Beastman. For accessories, he comes with this sword. I feel like this is the orc sword. And he also comes with the trident, a very long spear-like trident that has a swappable top. And then he's got the Barbarian axe and the shoulder strap. And then here's how he looks without the shoulder pauldrons, which are technically also accessories. Pretty cool look there too. And then I just wanted to mention again that the horns are removable, so you can take those off and you can swap on other helmet ornaments, like for example these wings here that have a pretty cool look with this helmet. Or you can also put on any of the other ones. So here's how he looks with those original horns. These are both from the Barbarian. So you got that look, or you can swing these horns downward. See how these look facing down as well. So a lot of cool options. This is just another helmet that can utilize all of those helmet ornamentations. Of course, these can also swing down if you wanted to do a different look with these horns. Finally, for articulation, standard 1.0 Mythic Legion's articulation. As usual, the head is on a ball joint and can cock side to side and twist and spin and look all around. Arms can swing up just slightly past the T-pose. They can spin all the way around. And then you have that single jointed elbow that's pretty limited in range. There is a twist at the elbow, twist at the gauntlet, twist at the wrist, horizontal hinge at the wrist. He does only come with the gripping hands. I know that some figures have started coming with extra hands, but he's just got the gripping hands on the horizontal hinge. And quick break from the articulation. While we're talking about the hands, I just wanted to pop the pack hands on there. And as you can see, it's definitely not a perfect match, because these are going to be a little more of that pale, dry looking tone that the regular Barbarian has, rather than this almost like suntanned, richer tone of the new Barbarian. Typical ball joint at the waist. He can crunch forward a little bit, he can crunch back, and he can twist, and he can go side to side. Hips will kick forward and back. Twist at the top of the leg. He can go out into the splits. He's got the single jointed knee, can bring it up this far. A twist below the knee, ankle rocker here, and you can point his foot down and up on these classic lower legs. So to me, the highlight of this figure is the new head sculpt. Of course, everything else is, very familiar parts now at this point, even this torso with multiple figures having that torso and that belt as well. Newer parts, but now pretty familiar after having Vorthog and Magnus in hand for a while. But just a solid, basic figure. I know they're called Deluxe, and that's because of the new head sculpt, but overall, it's a $26 figure. This is not your typical $37 release. It's a budget-friendly army builder type figure. Very cool release. I like that they're adding some new flesh tones in there and kind of giving us a little more variety rather than just reiterating the same tone over and over again. Although I could see where that might be a complaint too, because people would want to have matching parts, for example, the hands. So it's kind of a give and take on that. I like the new parts myself, but I also have a couple Barbarian, so I'm not at a loss for those original colored parts. Anyway, thanks for watching my video. I'll have my Xenothon review up in a few days after this goes live, and until next time, may the Force be with you.